Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Gentile. I am a director of Radisson Mining, and I'm joined today by Matt Manson, CEO and director of Radisson Mining. We're here today to talk about some very exciting drill results that came out this morning. Matt and I did an interview a couple of months ago when we had the results from our first ever deep hole under the old O'Brien mine. And at that time, I had said that that was probably one of the most impactful holes in the history of Radisson Mining. I would say that these wedge holes today are giant exclamation marks on the back of that deep hole in terms of importance, and also an entirely new dimension that's opening up the story in terms of resource scale potential that Matt's going to talk about a little later. So today we're going to talk about the importance of the drill results. I have Matt here to walk you through, because he always does in great detail, of the importance of these results, and we'll have a few follow-up questions after. So Matt, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. And everyone's getting a bit of a mini board meeting here with Radisson because both of us are directors, of course. So we gotta be careful we don't overshare. But but there's lots of good stuff to talk about here. So I'm going to share a screen. Hopefully that's visible. So just to remind everybody what O'Brien and Radisson is, it's the old O'Brien gold mine. There is our current resource. Our current resource, it's about 1 million ounces, half indicated, half inferred. I always like to start on the slide because there's LaRonde, Agnico Eagle's sort of flagship mine, over the fence at the back of the property, and there's Douai and Westwood, a little bit further along, adjacent to LaRonde. So, a good location. And what is the news today? Well, just to set this up, this is where we are with our current resource. Our numbers, our 1 million ounces are in those yellow shapes. This is a long section looking north. And we've talked about this deep drilling, and we've talked about this deep drill hole that we put underneath that old mine, 500 meters below the old mine. And we've talked about how going down is really important for the future of this project because, of course, 75% of that resource is just above 600 meters. And we're open to 2 kilometers. And we think 2 kilometers in this part of the world, given this type of deposit, is the natural exploration floor, is where we should be looking to add ounces. And so this is today's news. That graphic is showing you the hole that we drilled below the old mine, 500 meters below. The first, amazingly, since this mine closed in 1958, first time there's been that type of drilling beneath the workings of the old mine. It went down to 1,500 meters where it hit about 30 grams over 8 meters. So that was meant to be a pilot hole. We discussed this at the board, what the drilling strategy is going to be here. That was just meant to be a pilot hole. No expectations. We'll put it down there and then we'll do wedges off that to poke around and see what's happening below the old mine. The pilot hole gave us 30 grams over 8 meters with a big 242 gram meter intercept, classic O'Brien type intercept. And now we've done the first 3 wedges off that hole, got the assays back, and they've all lit up. They've all lit up with multiple good hits. Wedge 3 gave us a 53.5 grams over 1.2 meters. That was in a 30 grams over 2 meters. So again, kind of characteristic O'Brien type hit. But you see where these holes are clustering now. That's 4 out of 4 of the holes around this deep first hole have given us resource grade intercepts in the characteristic fashion. So something's obviously going on here. We're very happy about this. There's more drilling going on, and we expect to. We've said in the press release that wedges number 4 and wedges number 5 have both also hit mineralization. It's always a little bit of a risky thing to say that because we don't have the assays back yet. So so everyone understand that. But we're looking at visible gold in the core in exactly the right place for these holes. So great news this morning, Michael.
Matt, I mean, one thing I've always loved about this project. I made my first investment. I had 400,000 ounces, and clearly we're pushing the multi-million ounce barrier here in terms of potential for this project. I always love the continuity of this deposit and the predictability. Being a financially minded investor, I love projects where the management teams can predict with pretty good certainty where the mineralization is going to be, and when the hit rate is very, very high of success. I think this deep drilling has revealed to us some new dimensions that even we, as very intimately involved with the project, were not aware of the upside potential of some of the other zones we're seeing in this drilling. You can talk about that, the football zone, some of the zones we're seeing in this drilling we've uncovered, Matt.
Yeah. So this is maybe a good way to introduce this. So what we put into the press release this morning was also the modeling of these veins. We know from the old mine that we've got really good continuity in the veins. We can see that in the old mine. We can see really good continuity over hundreds of meters, vertical and laterally. And then you've got these grade chutes that give you vertical continuity of grade within this vein system. So we've got a really good understanding. There's a wealth of data here that's coming from the old mine and from 200, well, almost now 300,000 meters of drilling that's been completed in this project. So we put out this morning a quick model of the veins around those intercepts. And there you can see, and it ties in to the old mine, right? And so the old mine had one major stope that was coming down. And at the base of the old mine, of 1,000 meters deep, we're showing there the mapping. You see the stamp of the Quebec mining department back in 1956 or whatever that was done, the old mapping of the base of the old mine. And we can see that the main stope came down and was mined out, but there were parallel zones of mineralization around the old stope that they drifted over and drifted into, and we've got drill results for these. And these are zones that are 8, 9, 10 grams per ton, but amazingly, that was too low grade back in the 1950s for them to go for, right? So we've seen that type of data in the old mapping for some time. So now we get these 4 holes. They have multiple hits. The original pilot hole and wedge 3 line up perfectly below the old original stope. So that's the original stope coming down. But we're also seeing these other zones outside the original stope as well. They tie in to these other zones that were mapped but not mined at the base of the old mine. So I think this really opens your eyes to the potential here. We think of O'Brien as this, the original mine was 500,000 ounces at half an ounce average mined grade, right? Terrific deposit. But, if you were coming at that type of deposit with $3,000 per ounce gold, spectacles, you'd be thinking about what else is there. The economic cutoff for this type of deposit isn't 15 grams per ton. It's something a lot less given the current gold price. And then you begin to understand that there's maybe this is a big, 500,000 ounces at 15 grams per ton is a terrific deposit. But don't be confused by that this is a small deposit because of that. This is potentially quite volumetrically significant because you've got these multiple zones. We can see good continuity. It's tying into the historical data. And then you kind of transfer that thinking over now to the basis of your question, the rest of the project. This was a graphic that we had out before this morning's drill results. It shows the original pilot hole that gave us the 30 grams over 8 meters below the old mine, and it gave us the green exploration box. That's where we were going to go. That modeling I've just shown you is that green exploration box now beginning to fill in. Go over a little bit to the east where the bulk of the new resources. We've already published a bunch of deep holes, for example, OB24, 324, and the beginning of wedging that was happening off those. They've also given us similarly good results with continuity. That's about 170 meters below the base of the new resource on what we call trend 1. So here's the pattern, right? Deep drill holes, hitting mineralization, the wedges filling in, the whole system going down, multiple parallel zones, thinking about this with a different perspective. This isn't a high grading exercise. There's a lot of gold here exercise. And what we've been saying publicly is that 2 kilometers is the exploration floor. You just do an ounce per vertical meter back of the envelope calculation. If this mineralizing system's mesothermal system continues down, and that's what mesothermal systems do, what do you get back of the envelope in ounces down to 2 kilometers? And it's about 3 million ounces. Well, I think we're feeling pretty good about that exploration target right now, right? And maybe more. And that 3 million ounces is what you get back of the envelope vertical ounces per vertical meter just for the central part of the system. The old mine going down to 2 kilometers, and trends, what we call trends 0, 1, and 2, that central zone of the new resource going down to 2 kilometers. Everything else east and west of that is extra, right? So this is, we're all pretty excited about this.
It's this is again for the non-geologist, which I am. I mean, it's truly remarkable, Matt, when you put that cross section up, when you put a hole 500, 600 meters below any known information, and you're drilling wedges and holes in this, and you're able to predict where the mineralization is going to be within a 2 to 10 meter window. It's truly remarkable the consistency that we're seeing in the deposit. It speaks again to the continuity, the knowledge we have of the deposit. I think the efficiency of the drilling, very low drill costs, very high hit rates, and this. Just to put another exclamation mark on this, this is drilling on the O'Brien. No one's drilled out here for 60 years. The bulk of the deposit is east of O'Brien, where we have a tremendous amount of information, even more information, more modern information. So tracing these shoots down at depth for trend zero, trend one, trend two, to me, nothing's easy in life, but we have an incredible amount of information, incredible amount of confidence, and an incredible geological model that's working at a very high level here. So you're right, that $2 to $3 million, a 2 to 3 million ounce exploration target, no longer fantasy. It's really coming into front and center view here for our company.
Yeah, absolutely, Michael. And having looked at the geology and the modeling, there's where we are, right? I mean, that's always bring it back to the kind of location of the project, right? I mean, we're right on the highway here outside the town of Cadillac in the Abitibi, Quebec, best real estate in the world for gold exploration, and with two major mining operations over the back fence. It's a great story.
So Matt, could you mention for our audience here today what's next? So what we obviously well funded. We've got a pretty robust drill program going on now. We talked about a couple of wedges that are just been drilled under the old O'Brien mine. But what other targets will we pursuing the coming months, and what investors to look forward to in the months ahead for Radisson?
Yeah, so sticking to the plan with the drilling, it was 22,000 meters for this year, fully funded. That is really about predominantly chasing these new zones of mineralization down. We also had success shallower to the surface just before Christmas with the jewelry box. A lot of people will remember that. Again, we're talking volume, we're talking scale with the deep drilling. The jewelry box brings out the extremely high grade, local but extremely high grade attributes of this project as well. That's what the old mine was famous for. Super high grade, super concentrated visible gold zones. So got a drill program around that, following up on that success later last year. And behind all of this, we're now beginning to put on our thinking hats around development. What does this project look like? We announced in September we had the MOU with IAM Gold around doing a milling assessment for our a material potentially going to the Doyen mill, consistent with what they've said they're trying to achieve for that project and what we're trying to achieve for O'Brien. Put those results out early February. It works. Good recovery numbers, good metallurgical attributes for going to that mill. So around that concept, there is PEA level mine planning now going on in mine design to try and understand what this project will do on the basis of it going to somebody else's mill. Because of course, the best way to get maximum value from this project, given where we are, given the wealth of other projects around us, is to conceive of this project as ore supply to an existing mill, however that is to be achieved, right? So not building our own mill, not building our own tailings facility. That makes us potentially a very low capital cost type project, easier for permitting, easier for the whole process of putting a mine into production. So conceiving of that way, understanding what the value of this project is on that basis, and we think that's quite a valuable, considerably interesting and valuable proposition.
To the point I'd like to bring up, maybe get your feedback on that, would be in Canadian dollar terms, the Canadian dollar gold price, I think at $4,400 an ounce. If you look at last time gold made new highs, the US dollar was much stronger, much weaker than it is today. So in Canadian dollar terms, there's not many places in the world better to mine gold today than Canada. And
Yeah.
also, I'd also say the political rumblings, while they've been painful, noise between Canada and the US the last several months, on the mining side of things, we're seeing a huge push on the US side of things to mine more efficiently, reduce permitting timelines, increase the efficiency and timelines to bring mines into production. And for the first time in many years, we're hearing that same kind of rhetoric coming out of Canada as well. So I view that as very popular, regardless of who wins the election, both at the provincial and federal level in Canada. I'm hearing things I've dreamed about hearing for the last 10 years, which is streamlining the permitting process, fast tracking projects, extrapolating, getting critical resources out of the ground quicker. For a low capex project like ours, already in a great jurisdiction, that only, I think, increases the value and attractiveness of our asset, in my opinion, Matt. I'm curious to get your thoughts, but that's definitely what I'm feeling and hearing these days.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say about that is that our starting position was pretty good already. I mean, Quebec is one of the best jurisdictions in the world because of the knowledgeable stakeholder base, knowledgeable people, regulators that are well informed about our business. And so I permitted and built a mine in Quebec before, so I understand very much the benefits of that. So our starting position was already, excellent, I think. But no, you're right, right? I think especially in Canada now, we're becoming far more focused on falling back upon our own resources with a small r in many aspects of our life, our cultural life, our economic life. Something like O'Brien, valuable, high margin, efficient producer of gold in that particular location. It's something that's very, very doable, I think, and should be welcome as a development project within Quebec and within Canada. So we're in a good position, I think, in that regard.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, just to summarize, I guess today's news, these drill results today, confirm that geological models working fantastically well, that the resource target that we have, exploration target we have in place, a multi-million ounce potential, is really coming front and center to view. The continuity is excellent, and we got a lot more drilling ahead, both under the old O'Brien mine and under some of these Trend 0, Trend 1, Trend 2 to the east. So it should be a very impactful calendar for Radis investors in the months ahead, with really exciting drill results to come, I hope.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. Thanks,
Great,
Peter.
Matt. I will wish a very
I
happy
was
birthday.
gonna, yeah, I was going to say actually, as I said, thanks, Peter. I was thinking about we'll wish Peter a happy birthday because this is probably going to go on his feed as well. So happy birthday,
Yeah.
Peter, and thank
For
you,
those of
Michael.
you, Peter grants his birthday today. He's the usual host, Matt. I'm stepping in for him today. We wish Peter a very happy birthday, spending some well-deserved time with his family today on his birthday, and hopefully he enjoys the birthday present that he got today. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.